Alright, hello chat. Oh, I should check the mic just in case. Test? Okay, mic
Okay.
is working. Let's go chat. How are you doing today? Let's open coaching scene. Set up epic pen. Here we go. Alright, let's get started. Today we are starting with Extremas Ace. Diamond, so let's change that as well. Alright, now we can hide chat.
Now traveling
Let's see how it goes today.
ready for
So we're
battle.
watching Extremas Ace who's playing Sigma here, looks like. Sigma, pretty good still. Like, yeah, she got nerfed, but it's still pretty. He's still pretty good. He's still like very good at everything he does. He cannot brawl because that's the one thing he's always been bad at. But so long as you don't just spam his shield, you'll be fine. You have Sigma Ball, which is fine. We have snipers and Pharah. Your shield is okay. Like this shield is fine because it enables you to rotate through here. Without taking damage. But once you are here, you probably want to take the shield away so that you can just use cover to spam, right? The idea with Sigma is really using cover like this, just play on behind cover, then poke out, spam, get back to cover, poke out, spam, get back to cover, and just keep repeating. So we don't need to the shield right now. All the shield is doing right here is breaking because Sari is shooting at it. Whereas if you are playing here, Sarian will not be shooting at you and your shield will not be taking any damage. Right. Let's keep going here. Hold on, I have to open the chat. There we go. So yeah, your shield right now is taking more damage than it should. Like, there is no reason for it to still be up. If you want to play aggressive, you just bounce the balls. That's something Sigma can do really well. If you want to play aggressive here, instead of putting your shield up like this and going forward, what you can do is pick like this to shoot, or you can come here and pick like this to shoot, right? You can bounce them here to get people from behind. You can bounce them here to get people here behind this cover. So it's about learning shield management mostly right there. So keep in mind, this is not really good for you. Both Zarya and Monkey can go through your grasp, kinetic grasp, so I wouldn't even use it right now. Your team is doing damage and you're taking the attention of the tanks, which is good. The rock is solid. Keep in mind, if you're inside the bubble, you're gonna get a lot less healing because Anna cannot heal you inside the bubble. That's far is pretty solid. The only thing is you could be getting more value out of your shield, like your shield is... Where is it even? Did you take it back just now? I'm like, why is it not regening? It's out, it just took damage. Oh, is it like all the way up here? Yeah. So why is your shield up here? Is my question. As soon as the shield no longer is getting value, take it out. I was like, your shield should be regening, but I cannot see it anywhere. That's because it's all the way over here, and it's not getting any value anymore. So, thus far, your positioning has been okay. It's mostly your shield that could be getting a lot more value. Of course, the kinetic grasp doesn't do a lot for you, but... And the shield will not stop the monkey beam, but the monkey beam is not a problem. The problem is probably... Well, anything else I can do damage, like the McCree. If you could put a shield here, McCree would not be a problem, right? Instead, he just kills you. Between Zarya and McCree, they just kill you, and of course you cannot kinetic grasp this Zarya. Hi, Extremas. If you could just put a shield in front of the Zarya, you'd be fine. But because you had your shield out here and it was at 300 HP this whole time, you couldn't repositioning and you could not use it to retreat. So, right now, let's look at this. When I go back, this shield is okay. You should take it back like about here. Once you get to the place you wanna be, like here, you take your shield out so that you can have it back when you need to move again. But here you're just like leaving it too long. Of course, it's not good against Monkey and Zarya, so now you put it up. Like, there is no reason for you to put the shield up. I know you thought there was a McCree here, but even if McCree is here, you can still play here, you can still play here, and he will not be a bother to you. But even now, when you're going away from this position and he can no longer shoot you, why keep the shield up? Just take it down. You can take it down while shooting, you can take it down while rocking. Just take the shield now. There's no reason. By now it will start regenerating. By now it will be full health.
The objective
We kill the monkey, which is basically a one fight, then you just put your shield in front of you and start moving back, right? When Zarya comes through your shield, you take it out, and then you, because you're moving out, you can put it back again up here, right? And the Zarya has to get to past the shield again to do damage, and that's how Sigma works when you want to retreat. But you die basically because you screwed up your shield. The fight was on anyway, like you did pretty good. You took the attention of both of the tanks and eventually the McCree as well. So overall, pretty solid. But you could have survived. That's my biggest thing. You could be getting more value. Uh, Then you should be playing with cover. There is no reason for you to go out in the open and use your shield. You winning the point doesn't cap it faster. You already have one person on the point. You killing the people and staying alive caps it faster. Good grasp, make sure McCree doesn't kill you, then you try to kill the McCree. Again, this is a problem because you put your shield out so early. You didn't have it for when Zarya tried to push you. So this is the biggest thing right now. You're not getting... I don't want to say you're not getting any value out of your shield, but you could be getting so much more value out of your shield. Also, don't put it so far forward. Like, if the Zarya has to take a single step and get through it, you are not doing very good. Then you reposition, break your shield. This is the biggest thing. Take your shield back. Whenever you are not using it anymore, take it back, so that you can reposition sooner. You guys win the fight, and now we take out the shield. Take back the shield, I mean. So right now, this is the biggest thing. Also remember, Sigma is I don't want to say a long range, but he's like... His best range is from 15 to 22 meters, which is pretty big. It's not like Diva, who plays at 10 meters. He's got like a really long range, so you really want to make use of the full extent of his range when you can. Again, here, the shield is out a little early. It's just blocking damage that you shouldn't be taking. Like, if you play here, you can just shoot, hide, right? This is how Sigma usually works. You don't need the shield to spam. You use the shield to block cooldowns and to retreat. And those are the big uses for the shield. Because if you want to retreat, right, and you had your shield now, all you have to do is put your shield here, and as you retreat, if someone wants to chase you, they have to walk past your shield, which means they don't get healing from, like, Ana, right? And if they don't walk past your shield, they don't really do damage to you. Monkey can, but you know, his range is like 5 meters, so if you walk away, it's... Eventually, he's gonna have to come through the shield as well. Random rock is... it's not the best. If you hit it, it's pretty sweet, but it's definitely not the best. Like this, using flags early, win the fight, it's fine. McCree got 2 picks, which is very unfortunate. This is fine, pressuring Diana. Pressuring the backline is fine, don't worry so much. I would have loved it if you had just kept pressuring the backline. Because you can just kill Diana and then it's basically a one fight, all you have to do is pincer them. You can just push this way, kill Diana, keep moving, and then pincer the point. Instead we come back to point, which is fine. We missed the rock, which is not fine. That rock would have been very big if you had had it. I said some Overwatch gameplay. Shielded, shot, unshielded. Thought it was for the team, not for self. I shot the stream late. That was more viable when the cooldown was 1 second, right? And you can do that sometimes, because with 1 second you could reposition a lot faster, right? You could shield, pick out, shoot if you had to, and it gave you a little more safety. But the thing is, now that the cooldown is 2.5 seconds, you can definitely no longer do that. You have to play with cover, and you cannot take angles that are tricky. Like, you would usually, if you wanted to push forward, if you wanted to go aggressive with Sigma, you would put your shield up, right? Like a little bit further from the cover. You would take a step out, you would go aggro, then you would take your shield out, and you would go back to the cover, right? So Sigma used to be a lot easier to go aggressive with when his shield was 1 second. And this is the biggest thing that the change did. You can no longer go as aggressive because... Oh, thank you for the follow. AFEFRG. Um, the thing with Sigma is that now you can no longer go as aggressive because you could just start going, put your shield up, then when you're done, like from here, you cannot really shoot here, right? So if the enemy team is retreating or they're playing here, you could not just shoot them from here. So what you would do is you would go out, put your shield here, use it to spam a little bit, then you rotate, you take it back, and you could just put it again if you needed it. If the enemy team rush you or they have like any flankers or anything, you'd have your team, your shield basically available in 1 second. Now you cannot really do that. Now you cannot go aggressive without committing to the aggressiveness because your cooldown is 2.5 seconds now. It basically means that when you want to retreat, you don't have a shield for that retreat. The shield is stuck here while we retreat back to cover. So that's the biggest change of the shield. You cannot commit to going aggressive as much. You have to play a lot more defensive. Sigma is not really played anymore, at least in Overwatch League currently, or next cup really. It's Bold Diva for those reasons, because Sigma can no longer go as aggressive. He gets punished a lot easier when he goes aggressive because you can no longer just reposition the shield anymore. What are you grasping? Like, monkey goes through you. I'm not saying you could have prevented your death, but you can get more shots and more damage in. So that's a little more value you could have squeezed out of there. We got rest, which is good. Broke the monkey. We really shouldn't be pushing. Remember, I dropped out of time today. Unlucky. You should really be playing defensive with Sigma. You don't want to be close to people, especially not after your shield nerf. Sigma's biggest weakness is being close to people. And at this point, we can no longer stall the point. Just get out. If you're trying to just die, you can... I'm fine with you dying here if the idea is just going forward and dying. But honestly, the enemy team can stagger you here pretty badly. So that's... They probably don't, yeah. So I will be trying to back out here, if only because Sigma doesn't have any mobility and his damage is not too big. So the enemy team can stagger you pretty badly. Like, they can wait a whole 3 or 4 seconds before staggering you because you basically have no healing. So long as they keep tickling you every now and then. But they don't, so that's good. We come back. This is fine, we just come back with the team. Again, this shield is okay because remember, what you want to use your shield for, just there you go. What you want to use your shield for is to facilitate rotations. You want to put your shield in a place where it will allow you to get where you want to be, right? If your goal is to get like here, let's just say this is not great, you don't have any cover, you are in the open, you can get shot from multiple directions. But let's say you want to go here, right? To make this rotation, you need a shield here, which is basically why you put it. You put it a little high, people can still shoot under it, which is definitely a problem. Just aim down a little bit if you want to put a shield here. But this is a shield to make that rotation, right? What this shield tells me is that you want to get, if not here, at least go in the direction of point. But we don't, and we are not using the shield, and now that we are just staying on main, and our shield is taking damage it shouldn't be taking, because we are not making the rotation, we are taking very long to make this rotation. And we die. This Mercy really likes resing you, by the way. She's resing like 3 times already. This shield is fine. Can remember, you don't have to block as much damage for your team. Like, look at your team. McCree should be playing further behind you, that he should not be getting damage. Pharah will be playing on the flank, Ana should be playing way far back, Mercy will be playing either with the Pharah or with the Ana way far away from you, and Ball will be on the other side of the world. So you really only need to shield for yourself and to enable maybe team rotations, but mostly for yourself. And right now, it's just taking random damage that you don't need to take with the shield. Remember that first you have 100 shield health to play with, so you can take 100 damage, no problem. If you take 100 damage, you are not concerned. But also this shield is just losing health, it is not contributing to anything. Like, it's not helping you make a rotation, it's barely blocking only the Zarya damage. It's not like you are preventing a Widowmaker from getting a pick, for example. You can use your shield for that, during rotations especially. But right now, the shield is not doing any of those. It's just there to block, like, Zarya left click spam. And it is still out, by the way, so you should, as soon as you walk past your own shield, you know you don't need to keep it out anymore. So you should be definitely taking it back. It's a one fight, nice. I think you're trying to shield the McCree here, which is fine. He doesn't really need it, but we are not likely to need the shield for a few seconds anyway, so I'm okay with it. And the reason I say he doesn't really need it is because McCree, much like you, can just use cover to, like, he should not be standing in the open. If you shield him, yeah, he's less likely to take damage. He should not be standing in the open. You have seen right now there are under 50 top 500 Asha PlayStation players and only 300 from I. Yeah, I'm not surprised. McCree should be playing like here, he could be playing like here or here, whatever. Doesn't really matter. The point is, your shield is not always for yourself. Like, if you have a program, for example, when Zenyatta and Sigma were really strong, the idea was that Zenyatta and Sigma could hold an angle really well because they have such a big damage output. Then, in that case, you basically put your shield up while Zen goes for the volley, and then you take it out when the shield no longer is required for Zen to go for the volley, right? Like, hold on, let's get this angle. What you usually do is you play Zenyatta here, you play Sigma here, you spam normally. When Zenyatta has the volley charge, he peeks, you get the volley, you get the shield out for the Zenyatta, he shoots, and then you get the shield out. And this is probably why you would see those Overwatch League players putting their shield up for a second to enable either the Zenyatta or the Ashe to take a shot or maybe throw the dynamite and then get it back. But the idea behind that is, if I'm gonna hold an angle, like either main or a different angle, I can enable my DPS, or in this case my Zenyatta, who's basically also DPS, to do damage for that 1 second I have it up. The problem is that now with the 2.5 shield time cooldown, you can no longer do that, because if you put it out for someone to take a shot, this is basically committed here for 3 seconds, right? Like, between the time you take it back and the 2.5 second cooldown. So in those 3 seconds, if they have like a ball or a monkey, you can get Diven pretty easily, and basically you don't have your shield to reposition. So that's why Sigma is no longer as good as he used to be. He is still pretty good, don't get me wrong. The problem is that he cannot commit to those aggressive plays anymore. You cannot go aggressive yourself, and you cannot enable your team to go as aggressive when poking behind you, because you don't want to commit your shield just for that. So that's why you see right now a lot of people are playing Bold D.Va. And the reason is that if you have D.Va, right, when your Zen goes for a volley, you just defense matrix in front of him. That's basically the replacement people are using for Sigma. Instead of just playing Sigma, you play D.Va. You defense matrix whenever anyone in your team goes aggressive during the poker phase. You defense matrix to make sure that they don't get picked. Then they come back and you just wait. And defense matrix, because it's a 2-second cooldown, comes back a lot faster than the Sigma shield. Sigma shield is better at doing this job, right? Because it's a big shield. But because he cannot reposition it as fast anymore, that's why people are playing D.Va. Not to stop stance. The idea is that if you have someone poking, right, you don't want them to get picked. If you have a Zenyatta going for an aggressive volley, and they have like an Ashe, let's just say, no, not Ashe anymore, Ashe cannot one-shot anymore, but let's just say they have a Widow. Let's go with the easy example, a Widowmaker, right? You want to make sure your Zen doesn't die when he's throwing the volley out. So you would usually basically to stop people from getting poked. At long range especially. You would put your shield out to allow your Zen to take this volley, then you take it out as soon as the Zen starts going back. The Sun doesn't die, you can keep poking no problem, and he gets damage done, right? Which is the idea. Because again, the meta right now revolves around Sen doing shitloads of damage, and then Ball, Tracer, and Deco capitalizing on damage. Could a player or hero have so much value that you just pick and get a few shots and get enough value to play Diva? Yeah, that's literally Zenyatta right now. I don't know if it will be the same after the Discord orb changes, but if you're just spamming, right? If you're just the enemy team is setting up here, you're playing here, and you got Sigma Sen shooting this way for 1 or 2 seconds, right? 1 or 2 seconds only. Then if you do a lot of damage, you just have Ball, Echo, and Tracer, and they kill everyone. You don't have to secure a peg. As long as you do enough damage, then you just have your dive targets collapse on the person, and they just die immediately. So that's why Sen is so crucial right now. And the whole meta right now basically revolves around enabling Sen on the backline and then coordinating dive on the front line. So it's a very split team where your backline is trying to get long range value. Then you play Brick to protect the Sen. So Brick is also enabling your Sen, and then you play either Diva is really good because she can protect the Sen, and then when we do enough damage, she can boost us in and help the dive. So that's why Diva is really good. But yeah, in either case, you just play Diva, Sen, Brig. We poke with a Zenyatta mostly. We do enough damage. We do basically like any headshot or a volley, or we get a Discord on a weak target. We just collapse on the target. Ball, Tracer, Echo, Sombra, whatever flankers you can get, they just collapse on the target. Diva comes from the front and the target is dead. So that's how it works right now. Okay, let's go back to you rather than Overwatch level meta. Because especially in solo play, Sigma is still really good because he can really hold an angle very well. He still doesn't want to get close to people. That hasn't changed. But so long as you can hold the angle, you can basically stay there. I don't want to say for as long as you can, as long as you want to, but for a very long time. Again, she's getting no value. Take it back. This is the biggest thing I've noticed thus far. You are letting your shield stay. Yeah, there you go. You took it back. You are letting your shield stay out for way too long. Like, this is fine. You're protecting the Mercy, but now you take it back. Take it back. Take it back. It got broken, right? So as soon as your shield does what you wanted it to do, you have to take it back. As soon as you reach the point where you wanted it to be, you take it back. As soon as you protect whatever you wanted to protect, you take it back. Not only because you want it to be at full health most of the time, but also because you really want to make sure that you have it available for, well, whenever you'll need it. So right now we don't need to shield that. Like, this rotation doesn't require us to shield. We should just be backing out. If you were just backing out, rather than shielding and staying on this position, you would not need to be wasting your shield, because your range is bigger than Zarya's. So long as you back out, he's trying to chase you, you just keep doing damage and you basically kill him. I like this ult. They beat, it's fine. We stay on the high ground, this is really good position for you. Like, who can chase you out of this Junkrat, out of this high ground? A Monkey, and maybe Ash, and maybe Lucio if he gets a boop. But basically only Monkey really can chase you out of this high ground. So we just stay here and poke. You drop way too early. You don't need to drop that. Also, you could eat the grab here. Like, oh, they don't have a grab. Never mind. I haven't seen it, so I assume they did. But the problem here again, you want to play at the longest range you can. So dropping on top of the enemy team is really bad for Sigma, because Zarya and Monkey just basically eat you alive. Most close range heroes actually just will have a feast day with you. Also, they're just getting value playing here. If you were playing here, you could have just chased the Ashe out. Like, boop, 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 she's dead. She's got, does she have less than 110? 113, but yeah, you can basically kill the Ashe very easily. too long, don't breathe. Thus far, your shield management is, I don't want to say a problem, but you could be getting a ton more value out of it. Also, you don't respect that Sigma is basically a long range hero. You do not want to get close to people. Like, both times you've died and stayed dead is because you went very aggro, and several of the times you got rest is also because you were too close to the enemy team, right? We shield the high ground, that's not necessary. Like, whoever's here can just take cover and Mercy's healing them, right? So this is basically not a good shield, you just want to take it back so it doesn't get... First, so it doesn't get shot, but secondly, and most importantly, so you have the cooldown back as soon as possible. There we go. We are basically committing to one more fight, it looks like. Rock way too early. Don't just rock because you want to rock. Wait until an opportunity arises. Like when the monkey jumps, you just turn around and rock the monkey, right? That's an opportunity. If you just throw it out there, you're basically denying yourself the opportunity to rock someone. Think of it like a Roadhog hook, right? This is basically like a mini hook in the sense that you can get a stun, and the threat of having it is also really good. It's not just the value you get from it, it's also the threat of, well, if the monkey engages, I can just rock him. So keep that in mind. Now that you use the rock, monkey has nothing to fear from you. Monkey can just be like, yeah, I'm just gonna eat you for breakfast. Don't try to sack. Like, this grasp is really bad because you can neither eat this nor this. Also, you're not doing damage, and also you're not repositioning your shield right now. So that's a lot of mistakes at once. Your shield just got broken because of it as well. That's a decent rock. Again, you're trying to get... I think you're trying to get the monkey. You just jump before you could get him. That shield is okay. Too far forward for sure. And again, you can see your tendency to go forward instead of going backwards. Which is something that happens a lot. A lot of like tank players have the tendency to go forward, thinking that this is how you create space. But Sigma doesn't create space by going forward. Sigma creates space by threading in an angle and doing enough damage until you get a pick or you get the positional advantage. So with Sigma, for example, you play from here, right, from this corner, until the enemy is forced to retreat, because you play Zarya and Rein. Yeah, Zarya and Rein especially are heroes that create space by just running at the enemy, whereas Sigma is a hero that creates space by going away from the enemy, in fact. Because you just play here, threading the enemy, and if they try to chase you, you get out. And they try to chase you, and you create space, rather than by pushing them out, by baiting them out, basically. 1 second. Alright. But yeah, basically, what you do with Sigma is you play here, you threaten damage, you do as much damage as you can. You have a shield if you need it, you have a sack if you need it. The idea is, I play here, shoot at me, shoot at my enemies. If, for example, Zarya tries to push at me, you don't act as main tank. Sigma is not a main tank. Sigma is actually an off tank, by the way. Sigma is definitely an off tank. The thing with Sigma is that Sigma is an off tank that can hold the main angle. So that's why you will see him a lot, like in Junkertown and Havana, holding main. Because even though he's an off tank, he can hold an angle. He can hold basically any angle. But he cannot push like a vine or even a ball or a monkey and take space by walking into the enemy. The way you create space as Sigma is by holding the angle and forcing the enemy team to come closer to you. And by drawing them closer, your enemy can go in from the sides. Whereas, for example, let's put it like this. Let's assume you're playing here, right? And the enemy team is playing here, which is a very safe position. Your team, of course, cannot go this way, right? Because, well, the enemy just spot them and kill them. But if you put enough pressure on the enemy that they feel like they have to chase you out, then you back out, the enemy take your old position, and now your team can flank the enemy this way. Whereas this used to not be a flank, because the enemy team is now looking this way to chase you, this becomes a flank. So you are creating space by forcing the enemy to chase you. by forcing the enemy to push you out. That's how Sigma creates space. Because if the enemy just lets you stay here forever, you get a ton of value. Just shoot people, you do a lot of damage, you put shield pressure, you force cooldowns, you have a rogue that people can capitalize on, right? If the enemy team just lets you stay here forever, you just get infinite, not infinite, but a lot of value. So when the enemy try to push you and you back out, and the enemy try to follow you, then your team can come in from the flanks, right? Same here. Same from this angle. If the enemy team is playing here and they try to take this, they're basically running into the entire enemy team. But if they move forward, they're here, now this becomes a flank and you're behind the enemy. Keep in mind, sometimes you do need to push, in the sense that, well, it's 95% and they have to take the point, so I don't have a choice. But whenever you actually can, you should take a moment and, like, especially if you're on defense, rather than going forward, go backwards. Because it will enable your team to actually get a lot more value as the enemy is focusing on you. Hi Karsu, I'll do that one next probably. Or after the next one. Let's keep going. Oh, we are playing Zarya on this one. Sad because this is such a good map for Sigma. Like the open space, the long sidelines, this is such a good map for Sigma. And they have a Sigma, which basically means you're gonna have a very difficult time getting closer to the enemy if they play correctly. This is basically a perfect map to exemplify what I was saying about Sigma earlier. Sigma just plays here where he's safe. If you try to push him, he backs out to either column, he keeps doing damage to you, and now you're open to basically his team shooting you from every other angle, right? So Sigma is one of those heroes that becomes really hard to chase, and on maps with open sidelines like this, he's even better. This is definitely one of the maps where I'd be, yeah, just play Sigma, Ball, because again, Ball can just distract the enemy, then a sniper, a flanker, and Zenyatta Mercy. Bubble is, like, what are we trying to protect? The Ash from what? Just, if your Roadhog is taking damage, bubble the Roadhog. He doesn't have his heal right now, he's using it, so. And we got no value out of her friendly, so that's pretty bad. I like the position though, the position is pretty good, playing around the pillar so you don't take spam damage. This is a good bubble, the Roadhog doesn't have his heal for another couple of seconds. So I like the bubble, it's not gonna overlap. These days I tend to miss bubbles a lot, that's unlucky. This is practice, honestly. Pushing aggro is fine. We kill the monkey, we kill the Ana. And we win the fight. That's pretty good, actually, that's pretty good. Playing behind the pillar was definitely the best part of it. We killed the soldier, nice. The bubble should have been already attacked, but I missed. Oh, gotcha. So yeah, you just fucked up the bubble. If you feel like it's going too far out of the time, there is a setting, hold on, called bubble sensitivity for Zarya. Gameplay, control, Zarya. Where is it? Projected barrier sensitivity, right? So you can change how easy and how hard it is for the bubble, for the target bubble to swap between your friendly heroes. What time are we on? 7:30. Okay, I can take a second to show you what I mean. Let's go Zarya. Boop, 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 boop. So I'm standing between both of them, right? Okay. Those are enemies, never mind. These are allies. They're kind of dying, but it's fine. You can see that the bubble sensitivity, as soon as I like look a little bit, it targets them. Want to stop the clutch bubbles? No, it like, I'm explaining what it does right now. You can see that as soon as I move anywhere near them, it kind of goes for the bubble. With the lowered sensitivity, what happens is that I didn't even lower it. I just went for the screen. I didn't do anything. This is extreme, by the way. Don't actually put it to 0 or 10 is the lowest. But basically what happens is that you actually have to get a lot closer with the bubble to the target before it registers the target as bubbles. So especially when you have targets together, like these, you can target them a lot more accurately. Right? I can even target it in the middle of them, whereas if I turn my sensitivity up, back to 100, you can see that it immediately targets any of them in the middle. I barely am moving my mouse, and it's targeting both of them. Whereas I could definitely target in the middle. It is really like... It helps you a lot. It helps you a lot with hitting more accurate bubbles. And the difference is not that big in terms of being accurate with the bubbles. Like, yeah, you can still target this with this and it will give you the bubble, but it becomes like with enemies clamped, with teammates clamped up, becomes a lot more difficult. I recommend, if you're having trouble bubbling your allies because they are on top of each other, try setting it to like 70 or 60. Like if you do 60, let's just do 65 so you can see what I mean. Number one weakness in Zarya is over aggressiveness. We will see about that, but you can see it still targets them pretty. Like I can get pretty close and it will still target them. It's not like I have to be literally on top of them, but it becomes a lot easier to swap between targets. It's not like I just stay in the middle of them and it changes immediately. I can still play around with it a little bit. Right? I have to get a lot closer for it to actually target a different ally. So yeah, too long, don't read. If you're finding it difficult to accurately use your bubbles, just lower your bubble sensitivity just a little bit. Yeah, Blizzard World, no, it was Busan, right? I want to play the enemy's area by focusing the enemy's area and tunnel visioning just to get grab a little bit faster. That's not good. It was 7:30, I think. There we go. Here's the thing. Zarya is a bad target for Zarya unless it's a 1v1. Other targets are a lot better because with Zarya you can technically burst the bubble in 1 second and have 1 second to shoot. But there are so many other targets that just take so much more damage from Zarya that if you can focus something else, that's ideal. I like this spamming right click when the enemy team is trying to rotate. This is pretty solid. You take a shot, you bubble, it's fine. The enemy team is rotating, and by the way, the reason I'm saying the bubble to for NG is fine because you're probably gonna have it. In Rhine Zarya versus Rhine Zarya, what is the best target to shoot? I honestly often go for the Rhine. The way I'll play a Rhine Zarya versus Rhine Zarya is that I'll pressure the Rhine. Oh, sorry, let's do it like this. Rhine Zarya versus Rhine Zarya. I'll pressure their Rhine by going behind the shield and doing damage. And when they try to focus me down, I'll bubble, get behind my Rhine, and then my Rhine can go aggro on them because they are looking at me. So that's one way I really like to play the Rhine Zarya. Is pressure the Rhine by doing health damage, by using my bubble to go aggressive, but still remain close enough that with my bubble I can just get out behind my Rhine, like 100% of the time. This is fine. Sigma is a great target for you. Like if you're this close, just run at the Sigma and kill him. Yep, this is great. You had to read it, which is unlucky. We don't have friendly, which is... Why do we not have friendly? Did we use it? Oh, right here. So, this is an early bubble. You don't need to block like a Sigma. Spamming your Warthog, this is not a good bubble. And you have enough energy that you don't need it. Did I ever play Rhine Zarya in Overwatch League? In recent times, yes. But on very specific points, like Lijiang Control Center, for example. It is definitely more of a niche pick right now. Of course, when GOATS was a thing, you just play Rhine Zarya every game because it was Rhine Zarya all along. This is a lost fight, you just die to the ball behind you. We come back, we have grab, it's fine. This is from I'll do that soon as well. Already have a couple lined up for today, huh? This is okay, just spamming. This is looking like a longer lane, let's go. I have a few to do for sure, but I may cut it early, depending on how much time I have and when I get work, because I'm just wait. I'm always streaming a couple hours and then I get work and I'm like, I have to work, but you know. Decent grab. Remember when Sigma, I believe he does have his grasp, he could have eaten your grab if he was paying attention. Don't just yeet it out like that. It's a good grab, they beat it, they anti it, or rather than nade it. That W is way too early. I do proofreading basically. Proofreading and translating for a publishing house. So I get work via email most of the time. Okay, this is fine. We are just trying to, just die at this point. Like, you try to go very aggro on that grab, but they beat and they netted it, so you were kind of fucked at that point. I also need a guide on grabs. Usually the best idea is, of course, to just combo it with something. That's how you get most value. Outside of that, surprisingly, I think, in my opinion, if you don't have any combo, the best way to get value on grabs is to solo grab someone and kill them. Because if you don't have anything to combo the grab with, and you grab 3 or 4 people, these 3 or 4 people are a lot more likely to stay alive because, well, they're going to have supports, they're going to have tanks, they're probably going to use an ultimate, right? Whereas if you solo grab someone, he's probably dead. So I would usually go the most value with grab is, of course, a combo, like grab dragons, even like grab anti can be really good if you play for like grab anti. But I would really definitely say a solo grab gets a lot of value. Hi, Alexa. When you don't have anything to combo it with, when your team is not playing with you, for example, you really can get a lot of value out of, for example, solo grabbing Ana, right? You go for behind the enemy team, you solo grab, you kill the Ana, then they don't have any healing. I'm glad to hear. I'm glad I am entertaining enough to be dinner content. I solo grab the enemy's Zarya just to flex on the Zarya. I think that's a big problem. Yeah, don't do that. Zarya is very difficult to kill by yourself, right? If you grab a Zarya, it's basically a 1v1 against the Zarya. Imagine solo grabbing as forcing a 1v1. You always want to force a 1v1, you can win. You don't want to Rein, for example, a Reinhardt, right? If you grab a Rein, he just puts his shield up. If you grab a Sigma, that's pretty decent because you can, if he puts his shield up, you can go around it. So long as you're close enough. DPS are usually pretty good because DPS right now are basically really mobile heroes. So if you can grab a DPS and kill them, yeah, Ana is the first target I said. Like the example I gave on this comp was just flank and solo grab Ana. That was my example for solo grabbing on this against this composition. But I'm explaining why you should think about what to grab. If you're going for solo grab, think what you would like to 1v1, basically. Do I want to 1v1 the Roadhog? Probably not. I don't think I can kill the Roadhog in the Graviton time. DPS? I can probably kill a DPS, no problem. Lucio? I can kill a Lucio, but it's probably not the best value. Because I don't tank, just to kill the enemy's Zarya and tanks. That's a problem because tanks are very hard to kill. Like Sigma is probably your best tank to kill and he's still gonna be difficult to kill. Unless you have high charge. Or of course unless your team is with you or you have a combo. But you really don't want to solo grab a tank because they usually have a lot of survivability. The ones you can solo grab are like maybe Monkey. If he doesn't have Primal. And he doesn't have Bubble. Because then you can kill the Monkey, right? Maybe Diva if she doesn't have Defense Matrix. Because she will eat it if she does have Defense Matrix. Ball is because Ball can actually survive a grab by using his E, depending on how many people are around you. But yeah, tanks are probably one of the least valuable. We just lose these. I'd be surprised if your team even recap this at this point. Honestly, I know you have grab. Go ball. You have to touch here. And you throw the grab away anyway, so why not just go grab? Did you get someone on the grab? That's hilarious, though. Okay. Let's actually watch it, though.
Огонь по готовности. Overtime.
That's pretty good. I'll give you that. That's pretty good. That's pretty goddamn good. I won't deny that. But yeah, just go ball. Just go ball. Forget about the grab. Just go ball. You chase the soldier. This is you gave up. I just go ball. Ball is good. Wait, you guys win this because we still have one map to go. So you actually win this somehow. I like this. Pushing the soldier is fine. You do more damage than him. Again, if you want to 1v1 someone, 1v1 in DPS is really good at Zarya. You can almost always win a 1v1 against almost any DPS. So you go on them, soldier's chased out. Bubble is fine. You can go aggro. You just randomly bubble the rider. You're like, fuck, I need to do something. Oh, right, bubble. This is a bad bubble. This is a panic bubble. You can see that Ryan is not going aggro. He doesn't need help. That's a wasted bubble. Good kill on the Roto. Good kill on the Ana. Damn, you guys retake this. Which is pretty impressive, I'll be honest. It's not only you, but the crap. Long range work was definitely funny. But I'm surprised you guys retook that. Let's go with a bit faster. We have 10 minutes to go yet, and we are almost 1 hour into the stream. I really want to do more than a few today, so. Blah 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 blah. Bubble here is okay. You took some damage, so you were like, I can maybe get some value. I don't mind you using it because chances are you will not need it in the next 5 seconds. That's a good right click. We can get grab again. Why did you friendly bubble here? You just friendly bubble Ryan? This is a bad one. Okay, see, actually must. You can almost always, if one v1 DPS, me and getting a sniper deal with a widow. Do you think my biggest weakness is to climbing? I would say, on Sigma, you want to improve your cooldown management. On Zarya, you want probably bubbles as well. You are getting more value, but you could be getting especially more value out of the friendly bubble. So, I would say maybe position yourself better to enable your team more. With Sigma, play the angle to enable your team, keep your shield long more often. With Zarya, get more value out of the friendly. Don't think of it as, I'm just gonna get energy, lol. Think of it as, yeah, maybe I can bubble my Ryan when he goes aggro, maybe I can bubble my Genji when he goes aggro. So that I can both get energy, but also allow people to get damage and safety. Like, that's a good bubble, right? You bubble the Genji when he goes for the... I don't think you needed this, but this is fight, so it's fine. I'm in the fight. But yeah, those are the biggest thing. On Sigma, Sigma is basically, I'm gonna tell you, shield. Hold on, let's... Shield management, which also kind of carries positioning along with it, because you need to improve your positioning to play better shields. With Zarya, you're doing pretty good, honestly. I would say you can get more value out of your friendly bubbles for sure. Your self bubbles are pretty good, but your friendly bubbles could be getting more value, especially on the front of, yeah, I'm just not gonna bubble someone for energy. Okay. Since you're leaving, I'll just call this one here and we can move on to the next one. But good idea for bubble is to just play a quick play and bubble only when teammates are critical. Here's the thing, it's not only when teammates are critical. If Genji is going for Nanoblade, bubble is a good idea. If, for example, you have a soldier going for a flank visor, maybe bubbling him is a good idea, right? The idea is not only people who are dying, the idea is enabling your team. Whereas people getting a ton of value may be very valuable. maybe so much not critical, but for example, your Rhine is purple and the enemy is charging forward, so you bubble to cleanse the purple even though he's not. Are there any drills for it? No, it's just getting the sense of it. I'll definitely recommend just going just brain power, yeah. I'll definitely recommend just going before a game and being like, okay, who in my team is going to need a bubble when, right? For example, I know that Genji is gonna need it if he goes for a blade. I know that Ash is probably not gonna need it unless maybe Bob goes in, right? Maybe I want to make sure that Bob doesn't get CC'd. Ryan is probably gonna need it a lot of the time when he goes aggro. Lucio, maybe not, probably not. Anna, if she gets Steven. But yeah, the too long don't read is if you want to make sure you're getting value out of your cooldowns, think about, well, how could my teammate use the bubble? How could my Lucio use the bubble? He probably cannot. Lucio is difficult to kill. Unless he's getting targeted or CC'd very heavily, you're probably not gonna need it, right? But if your Genji goes for blade, you're gonna be like, yeah, I can bubble that, and he's gonna get a lot of value out of having 200 extra HP to play with.
Score.
Let's call that one there, and let's move on to the next one. Thank you for stopping by, Extremas. Also, let me change the title if I can, if I remember how. Because drops are no longer a thing. So there we go, no more drops. Trading cooldowns, for example, using Bubble for Nade, using Bubble for Wraith, or whatever you want to use it for, right? It's what I meant when I say that you can stack a lot of cooldowns. Yeah, I explained that, for example. So yeah, just make sure that you are not wasting your bubble like that. Even if you're getting energy, it's getting value. If you're